Okay, so we're going to do page 74 of your student journal, and we're going to knock out numbers 1 through 4. All of these are the big ideal math problems, and I'm just showing you how to work them out so that they get credit for these problems. All right, so it says in exercise 1, find the measure of angle 1 and find the measure of angle 2. Tell which theorem you used in the case. Okay, so here is measure of angle 1, and it already told me that this angle is 110. Well, since these angles are on the inside of the two parallel lines, and this right here is my transversal, I'm just going to highlight the parallel lines so you can see. And then I'm going to put the transversal in another color. Oopsie. Put it in another color so you can see. There you go. So now, 1 and 110 are going to be the same because they're inside the parallel lines and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So this angle here is going to be 110. And the rule that I've used there to solve that, alternate interior angles. Okay, now 1 and 2 are what we call vertical angles. So the measure of angle 1 is going to be congruent to the measure of angle 2. So that means the measure of angle 2 is 110, and we're going to say because they're vertical angles, and we're finished. Okay, we have the same ideal going here. These two lines are parallel, and this is the transversal. Well, if we go and look here, they're in the inside of the parallel lines, and they're on the same side of the transversal. So that means these two angles have to be supplementary. So we're going to say 63 plus the measure of angle 2 should equal 180 degrees. All right, so if I take 180 and subtract out 63, then I can say the measure of angle 2, and this here is solving an equation. So let me go ahead and draw a line to show you how to solve equations. What we're looking for is always going to stay on the left side, and what we need to, and we move the constant to the other side. So if I'm trying to find the measure of angle 2, I need to subtract this 63. And remember, if you cross over the line, you change the sign, and we'll get more into this in class with you practicing these equations as we keep going on. And so 180 minus 63, you can use your calculator or you can use your mental math. I know this is going to be 7. This breaks down to 7 because this became 10. So 7 minus 6 is 1 left over, and that's 117. So the measure of angle 2 is 117, and that's by same side of the transversal. We call that ST. And now, we also know that 2 and 1 are right next to each other. So if 2 and 1 are right next to each other, in the beginning we learned that is called a linear pair. So we would say the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 1 is equal to 180, and that's by linear pair. That's a LP, linear pair. Well, we already know that the measure of angle 2 is 117, so I'm going to put 117 in its place, plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180. All right, hold on, give me a second, give me some more paper. All right, so now I need to draw my line. What I'm looking for always stays on the left side, and the constant goes on the right side. This is positive 117, so if I cross over this line, then I need to change the sign, 117. So I'm going to say the measure of angle 1 is equal to 180 minus 117. So you could do your mental math or you can use your calculator. This here is going to be 3. This breaks down to 7. So this is going to be 6. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So the measure of angle 1 is 63. Or you can use your calculator to help you figure that out too. All right, so this here is 63. And this is by linear pair. I figured that out because 1 and 2 are linear pairs, and 63 and 2 are what we call same side of the transversal. Alrighty, let's see what we have next on the agenda. All right, so here's another one. 95 and the measure of angle 1 are vertical angles. So this here up here is 95 by way of vertical angles. All right, so now I need to figure out the measure of angle 2? Well, if I notice this is my parallel line and this is my parallel line, if you look at 95, it's at the bottom of the top line, and look at 2. Ooh, it's at the bottom of the top line too. So it is also 95, and we're going to say by corresponding angles. That's the reasoning for that one. Okay, let's go to number 4. If we look at, these are my parallel lines this time, and this is the transversal. If you look at the measure of angle 1 and 101, they are called vertical angles. So this, since it's a vertical angle, I'm going to say they're congruent. And so that's 101. Now, if you look at these two, they are inside of the parallel line and are on opposite sides of this transversal right here. So here's your transversal, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines, and they're on opposite sides. So you can look at it here as 101 is going to be the same as 101 also, because they are alternate interior angles. So we'll call that AI. And if you also look, 2 is on the right side of the parallel line, and look, the other one is on the right side of the parallel line. So you could have used corresponding angles also. So whichever one works for you, you're good to go. Let me see something. Oh, I didn't call it the wrong thing. I'm good. Okay, so I think I covered them all. Yes, I did. Okay, I will see you guys in class tomorrow. Bye.